it's the Mad Queen. Welcome into the Queen's Lair. This is another all about hero in my series or my playlist, which you can find on the main channel of my YouTube. If you don't know, I do have an entire playlist dedicated to going in depth about heroes in Awaken Chaosera. So if you're interested in learning more in depth about other heroes like this, make sure that you check that out. And it's also going to be linked at the very end of the video. So going over this, I'm going to be talking about her abilities, her ascension, her masteries, her base stats, her builds, her gear builds, hero pairings, and as much information as I can. Also, at the very end, I will be coming here and rating her everywhere within the game. That is going to be at the very end though, so make sure that you stick around for that. I do have her at level 70. That's important to note because her base stats are going to be different than if you had her at level 60 or 50. I also have her ascended 4 times. Hydrissea was actually the legendary I picked as my free legendary whenever that was a thing with Ace. Of course, it's not anymore. And she's a water hero, legendary, offensive unit. So she's meant to deal damage. As far as her element, she's going to have an advantage on fire heroes, so she's going to do more damage to red heroes, and she's going to take more damage from green heroes, which are also wood heroes. As far as her base stats go here, we have her at 1600 attack, 5400 health, 534 defense, 100 speed, 8% crit rate. Her attack is pretty good for the most. Honestly, it is pretty good. As far as her health, it's not bad. 5400 defense is kind of low. Her speed is just okay, and of course the 8% crit rate. So I also want to go ahead and take a look here quickly. Before I get into her masteries, we're gonna go over her abilities. So her trait, she has a really big kit, by the way. Her trait, Dragonkin, I don't know, which is this cute little dragon she has on her shoulder. But anyways, attacks have a 40% chance to trigger a bonus attack that deals 50% damage to all enemies. Trigger chance is increased by 15% for each enemy hit. Damage is increased by 100% if there is only one enemy alive. When Hydrissea is deployed in Adventure, the XP gained from stage completion is increased by 15%, ineffective when Hydrissea is deployed as the support hero. So this was something that has just recently been added. They've actually done quite a few reworks and buffs on her since I've been playing the game. There was a while where she was really not usable, so they did turn that around by making her a bit better, which was nice. After you get her ascension, which I believe is on her second ascension, attacks have a 40% chance to trigger a bonus attack that deals 80% damage to all enemies, and the trigger chance is increased by 15% for each enemy hit. Damage is increased by 100 if there's only one, and when Hydrissea is deployed in Adventure, her XP gained from stage completion is increased by 15%, as long as you don't have her as the support hero. She needs to be attacking, I guess. But honestly, reading these, maybe I'm losing it, but I didn't really see a difference between these two. I don't know, they just changed her trait, unless I'm blind, which is possible. But for her basic ability, Glacial Shard, she deals 100% damage to an enemy with a 50% chance to apply speed down to them for 2 turns. This is also something else that makes her really nice because as an attack hero, where all of her abilities are AoE based, for the most part, she is able to put speed down. And of course, with her basic ability, it's only going to be AoE if she procs that basic turn. Or, I'm sorry, the extra turn, because when that goes off, it is always an AoE effect. With her, oh, and of course, when you get her masteries done, that's going to change to be a 75% chance instead of 50. Biting Cold is her special. It's on a two-turn cooldown, as long as you have her abilities max, of course. She deals 100% damage to all enemies and applies speed down to them for 2 turns. And once you get her masteries done, she's going to get an extra 10%. Lastly, her ultimate, Frost Zone, deals 100% damage to all enemies and throws a volley of ice spears at them afterwards. Each ice spear deals 40% splash damage to each enemy hit. This is going to be on a 5-turn cooldown unless you have all of her abilities done. And once you have her masteries, it's going to be an extra plus 10% damage. As far as her overall stats, I have her with 5,400 attack, 12,000 health, 1,200 defense, 161 speed, 98.5% crit rate, 256% crit damage, 20% focus. So those are going to be the stats that we look at. The most are her attack, crit rate, crit damage, and speed as well. Of course, you do want to have 100% crit rate on her if you're going to be using her in a lot of places. I only use her now to farm jelly because she gets that plus 15% bonus. And I recommend if you have her, use her to do that because it actually makes up for you not needing to buy the card. So, and honest, I don't buy that anymore. That's another story for another video. But make sure you do have her at 100% crit rate. I have her in an Avarice set. It's a 4-piece set. This set works really well on her because, as you can see, it's going to grant 50% bonus damage when attacking over an area. It can only be triggered once every round. So that means it's only going to happen one time. And then everyone else on your team and the enemy team has to go before she's going to be able to do that again. As for her secondary sets, I would recommend putting her either in a warrior set, which is going to make her do more damage, a rage set, which is going to give her extra crit rate, or also you can put her in a, gosh, what is the name of that set? It's going to give her extra speed. Raider set. It's her Raider set. So it's all going to depend on how you're using her and where you're using her. Personally, I could make her much better than she is now. But again, I only use her to farm for jelly right now. I do also have all of her glyphs done. All of her abilities are maxed out as well. And as far as her masteries go, I don't have any books into her. And I don't plan on putting any into her. Not now, and if I do, it would be in a really long time from now. I'm talking about like 30 plus heroes, 30 plus legendary heroes, 40 plus down the line before I even think about putting them into her. She would be kind of one of those options where it's like, oh, I have some extra books, but I don't see that happening with myself for a long time. As far as the stats on her gear, she has 1 roll into crit rate, 2 into precision. There's attack percent here, 2 into speed. There is 3 into attack, 1 crit damage, crit rate, and 1 roll into precision. She has 3 crit rate, 1 crit damage, and 1 focus. We have attack percent here with crit damage, crit rate, and then health and defense. And then as you can see, I actually don't have her in 2 complete sets. These are just random. I just did whatever to make sure it wasn't using my main gear from my other heroes, but also get her as close to the stats I needed as possible. So crit damage is 50% on the ring, and then 2 rolls into crit rate and 2 rolls into speed here. Lastly, 50% crit attack on her necklace with some crit rate and speed as well. As far as prioritizing her masteries, like I was mentioning, I would not worry about it, honestly, like I was saying, until you maybe hit the jackpot and have tons of extra books sitting around. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. I also would not use any potions on her either. If you're wondering about that, it's not worth it. Just wait till you pull more copies of her. As far as hero pairings go, I like to use her a lot with Windstrix. Windstrix really just goes really well with a lot of heroes. And she's going to give a little extra health and some speed as well, so you don't have to get as much speed into her. Of course, if you did do masteries on her, which is totally your choice, she would be able to get away with not using attack percent boots. You could use speed boots on her. So she can actually be used in the Ash Magisteria to farm all the way from the beginning stages all the way to consistently farming Hell Stage 2. She has a specific team that can be used there. I actually don't have a video on that. I should probably make that. And then lastly, before I rate her everywhere here, I want you to know that you should not pay attention to the ratings in-game on heroes. Sometimes they are accurate, most of the time they are not, because people rate heroes way before they have a good understanding of them. And as you can see, for recommended sets, they have the Avarice, Warrior, and Rage set. They don't have the Raider set, which gives speed, but just depends, like I said. For arena offense, this one's tough. I would say she is like 3.5, 4 stars. So I'll give her 4 stars here. Arena defense, I'm going to give her 2 stars. For No Man's Land Bane Wraith, she's a weak affinity, so I don't even know how she has 4 stars here. I'll give her 2. For the Flame Lizard, I'm going to give her 5 stars. She can be very good there because she is also a positive affinity, so she's able to do extra damage. For the Wraithful Flood, she's alright. I'll give her a 3 star. Lord of Holy Light, oh man, I'm going to give her 3 star here. Shadow Captive, 3 star. Roaring Tulpa, she is a weak affinity here, so I don't know why she has that many stars. We're going to give her... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I was wrong there. I was not thinking correctly. She is not a weak affinity in the... Wait. Oh, yeah. In the Roaring Tulpa. I'm looking ahead at the Ash Magisteria. So, Ash Magisteria, I'll give her 5 stars. It's more of like 4.5, but you can't do half ratings. So I'm going to give her 5 because she can be used in Hell stages. For Witch of the Wind, I'm going to give her a 4 star. She is able to put decreased speed, which is nice because if you don't know, speed is the general basics behind the mechanics of how that boss works. For Gemini Dragon, I'm going to give her 2 stars. Again, this is the hardest dungeon in the game, and it takes a very specific team to be able to honestly really farm in this dungeon. And as far as the boss here, we're going to give 3 stars for the Armored Incursion. She's going to be good in the beginning and mid stages, but where she's going to be okay. She's not really meant for the boss, though. And I will say, as far as other places, you can use her and get a lot of use out of her in the normal Void Tower. And also, you can use her to help you in the... Gosh, what is that place called? Endless Trials. I don't know. I'm always forgetting the names of everything for some reason. But if I was unclear about something, or if you have any more questions about other heroes that she can be paired with, other gear options, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd be more than happy to answer any kind of questions that you guys have. Also, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.